So in Taekwondo, there's a rule where there's like a mercy rule, kind of. Like if you're up, and it's different now, I don't know what the numbers are, but at the time, like if you were up by like 12 points by the end of round 2, they wave it off. This guy who I had to fight in the finals, every single fight, he had won by that mercy rule. And then there's me who, like, obviously, like, I was winning, but it was by close margins sometimes, like maybe 2 or 3 points. I actively thought in the moment, which way do I go? Do I think, how do I beat this guy on, on paper? There's no reason why I should win this. But I thought, no, this is my advantage here. I've been facing adversity all day. I've been having to fight through the hardest fights I've ever fought all day. This guy's just next on my list. He hasn't had that.
Yeah.
I'm going to show him from the very first round, he's going to notice that he can't walk through me. And the moment he realizes that he can't walk through me,
it's going to stumble him.
There's going to be something in his head that goes, oh. So the way I approached fights was I always thought there's 2 ways to win a fight.
That's the emotion, right?
Yeah, there's 2 ways to win a fight. You impose your will, you impose your game plan, and you dominate them that way. And, or...
Because that's what he's thinking.
Or, exactly, you get your opponent to self-destruct. And that was always my take, is if you can bring those 2 things together, that's how you win. So I tried to beat my opponents, not just from what I did to them physically, but I tried to make them crumble internally as well. And then the moment you realize that someone's kind of self-destructing internally, that's when you can pick them apart. So that was my strategy of how am I going to make him self-destruct? I'm going to make him realize early on that this isn't going to be easy. I would watch game tape all the time, like on all the different opponents that I either have had or I could have. And I would do that like in school when everyone else was kind of doing their homework. If I was doing my homework early, I'd open my computer and just game plan and just have a notepad open and I would watch it 100 times. And one time I would write down how many times did they use their right leg. Then I would watch it again.
Yeah.
How many times left leg. Then I would watch it again. And then I got to a point.
Baby.
Yeah.
He actually started doing it finally.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I get to a point where I realized, like, okay,
there's a lot of homework involved.
There's more than just kicks and punches. So I got to a point where I was breaking them down behaviorally too. And I was thinking, what does this person look like when they're put under pressure? How do they respond to that? What is their kind of tick, right? Do they smile? Do they clap their hands?
Right.
Do they say something? And I would try to look and break people down kind of psychologically and see what are their cues for when they're
nonverbal,
or when they're put in an uncomfortable situation. And I would try to get that out of them, and then when I saw it is when I knew, like, all right, we're there.
So what were you seeing?
I would see just things like body language.
Yeah,
right. Like when
look in
someone's
the eye.
winning, you can tell, like, their chest is straight, they're energized, they're good to go. And when you can kind of mute someone
and their
a little
posture
bit,
drops.
So you know what often happens, I find, though? If you didn't do that, can you imagine if you did not do that studying, you would not be able to read the cues, which means you would not even be able to tell when the tide was shifting in your favor anymore.
Right.
What would that do to your chances to victory?
That's what took me from a place of being the worst one in the gym to the best one, not only in the gym, but in the country, and one of the best in the world, was because I knew I have to do the things that nobody else is doing, and that's the only way that I can close this gap and set myself up for success.